And it is 4:02 p.m. Oh, our theme song kicked in. I forgot about that. 4:02 p.m. It is time for the 4 p.m. 411. I am Loyd Kirby, Marketing Manager of WLCN, and my guest today is Alice Roate with the Logan County Tourism Bureau. And if I can click on the right icon here, we'll let people see you as well. So, and there she is. So, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Sure thing, absolutely. So, Tourism Bureau, can you kind of tell us what kinds of, well, what the role of the Tourism Bureau is and what kinds of events and functions and kinds of things that are in your jurisdiction?
Yeah, so the role of the Tourism Bureau is to bring visitors into Logan County and then assist them once they're here. So quite often we get visitors that come in, stop for brochures, if they need help for directions, if they need a place to stay for the night, or if they're looking for a place to eat or things to do. So we help them when they're here, and then our goal is also to get them here in the first place. So while we do many events here within Logan County, we also want to draw those people who aren't from Logan County, who are in those surrounding towns like Springfield, Bloomington, Decatur, Champaign, Peoria, because we want them to come in and spend money here in our local county.
Sure, absolutely. And so you've been with the Tourism Bureau how long now?
About 11 months, so it'll be a year in August.
Okay, so coming up on the first anniversary. How's it going?
It's going great. It's been a huge learning experience, which I've really appreciated. I graduated from college last May, so and tourism was something I was always really interested in. So this has been a great opportunity for me to work in the industry, and this was, like I said, this was something I have been interested in for a long time. So I'm just excited that I get to do something that I love, and not only do that, but also do it in my hometown.
Yeah, okay. And if you are listening to us by the radio or on our Mixler app, you don't have the benefit of the graphics that we're showing on our YouTube live stream. So if you would like to call and have a comment or a question for Alice, or a comment about Logan County, tourism, things, I don't know, things that are great, things maybe that people don't know about we should promote, 217-648-5510 is the number to call. You can also send an email to 4pm411@wlcnonline.com, and we will get to those. We'll also mention, while we're telling you a little bit about the show, next week our scheduled guest is Tracy Welch, the mayor of Lincoln. So if you have questions about things going on around town, or policies, or any kind of issues that might be in the mayor's jurisdiction, we'll invite you to tune in on July 5th for that show. But our guest for this half hour, Alice Roate from Logan County Tourism. You were telling me you're a local girl and came back after college. Where did you go to school?
I went to Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa.
Okay, and they're not the Hawkeyes.
They're the Cyclones.
Cyclones, that's right.
Yeah.
Maroon and gold colors?
Yep.
Okay, at least I got that right.
Yeah.
So what kind of appealed to you, or what interested you about the tourism bureau director job that made you want to apply for it?
So when I was taking classes in college, they specifically for my degree, which was event management, wanted you to take classes in all different areas of the event management industry because, it is so broad. And tourism and weddings were two that really stuck out to me that I was like, I could see myself doing that. I enjoy, the behind the scenes. And of course, that's, kind of what I was learning in the classroom. But in real life, I hadn't really had that experience yet, besides an internship that I had, which then was the same semester that COVID then shut everything down. Okay. So while I didn't have the experience that I was hoping I would have by the time I graduated, those are still two areas that I could see myself doing. So then when the tourism director position became available just a month after I graduated, and here I was in my hometown, I was like, oh wow, that is perfect timing. So I applied for the position, I got it, and it's been great ever since. And I, have now realized that I do really enjoy this industry, and I like this job, and I love the fact that I have gotten to view Logan County in a new light. Growing up here, I think you take for granted some of the, things that are right there. You don't think twice about them. So now I kind of get to see it in a new light, especially the covered wagon. I drive by it all the time, never think twice about it.
Right.
But that's probably one of the number one questions we get is people want directions to the covered wagon. So it's been really interesting kind of seeing, my hometown in a new light and just learning more about the industry in general.
Okay. Once again, 217-648-5510 if you have questions for Tourism Director Alice Roate. I've worked in a few different jobs, but one of my jobs was event promotion, but it was more like concerts and music, fine arts events, theater and things like that, gallery shows. You said you've been there 11-ish months, so
Yes.
you came in kind of sort of in the middle of COVID, or as COVID was lightening up? Where were you on the whole COVID scale?
It was starting to lighten up. It'd been a year and probably coming up on a year and a half about the time I started. And of course, with COVID, it's been up and down the whole time.
Right.
So when I graduated from college and was looking for a job initially, it was still a little tough. There weren't many jobs out there in the event industry in general. So I just feel very lucky that I was able to find one in not only industry I liked, but right here in my hometown.
Right.
So, but yeah, my start date was August 2nd. So I'll say it was a busy month to start, but I think that almost made the job easier because I learned quickly. I got to do a lot of things quickly, have new experiences. So
kind of hit the ground running, I
Yes,
guess.
yeah.
So how have things been as COVID has sort of been more or less on a downward trend, I think we could say? How have things been in terms of events and attendance and interest in people attending? Are we seeing more people getting back to sort of a normal attendance levels, or is there still some hesitancy, or how is that going?
I think we've seen events see an increase in attendance, which has been great, or at least back to normal levels, like if we compared it to about 2019. Also, not only events but travelers within the Tourism Bureau. We typically, especially with Route 66, see a lot of international travelers. The last couple of years we haven't seen that as much, but I will say this summer, especially the last couple months, we've seen a lot of people, especially from Europe, Italy, Switzerland, England. So that has been really cool, getting to meet some of them, but also seeing that international travel is picking back up again.
Sure. So you are the Logan County Tourism Bureau, obviously, with Lincoln being the biggest population center. A lot of your efforts, I guess, would be focused on that, but there's also, as I'm sure you can tell better than I can, a lot of great things to see elsewhere in the county and a lot of things for people to view and maybe that we kind of take for granted or don't know about.
Yeah, there's a lot of Route 66 attractions that people like to stop at. The Paul Bunyan Giant in Atlanta is always very, very popular, as well as the Pig Hip Marker in Broadwell. Those are really popular Route 66 attractions that had been around for a long, long time. So we get a lot of people that stop in either with a booklet or they did the research themselves and they're like, oh, I read about this. And people who typically do this trip do a lot of research since it is such a hefty trip. So we always really enjoy finding out, what are people looking at? What's grabbing their attention? Like, how can we pull them in, not only to get off, the road and stop at an attraction, but how can we then pull them in to stop somewhere for lunch or pull them in to, stop at a local shop and, look at what they have to offer.
Sure, absolutely. So our guest is Alice Roate. It's about 10 after 4, so we're going to take our first break. We will be back. If you have questions or comments, 217-648-5510. We will be right back with Alice Roate from the Logan County Tourism Bureau. And we are back at the WLCN on the 4 p.m. 411. Our guest today is Alice Roate. Once again, next week we will have Tracy Welch, Mayor of Lincoln, scheduled to be with us. So if you have questions for him, 217-648-5510, or if you'd like to email those in ahead of time, 4 p.m. 411 at WLCNonline.com is the email address. But as I mentioned, our guest today, Alice Roate from Logan County Tourism. And as we said on the break, I've got a few buttons to push here, so let me get this turned around so people can look at you. So we were talking, we talked a little bit about your background, so and tourism in general. You mentioned that at least one of the aspects of your job is to try and guide people as far as places to eat, places to shop, where to spend the night, different events going on, I would assume. How do you get those requests? Do people find you? Do they stop in at your office? Do they find you by your website or social media? Or how do people get in contact with you if they have questions or would like recommendations?
It's a little bit of both when it comes to visitors. We do have a question submission area on our website, so we do get quite a few questions through there or over the phone. But a lot of the times when we're giving recommendations, it's people that are stopping into town, into our office that night, or in the afternoon, whether it's lunchtime, or they're like, oh, we're gonna decided we're going to stay here for the night. Where can we stay the night? So it's a little bit of both, but I'd say most is in person.
Okay. What's the strangest request you've gotten? Put you on the spot here. Has anyone asked you something so oddball you weren't quite prepared for it, or?
We do get, since we are the old train depot, we do get a lot of people asking if they can buy an Amtrak ticket, probably almost every day of the week.
Oh, really?
And so we then have to inform them, it's not a manned station. You have to buy it on your phone, or you can call them and they'll get your ticket set up. So we do have some odd requests here and there, but we get the Amtrak ticket question a lot.
It's your most consistent
Yeah.
one. So we've also been talking a little bit. We have the Tourism Bureau, and then also present in Lincoln is the LEAD organization with Andrea Runge heading that up. To the uneducated listener such as myself, because I didn't know the difference until I spoke with you, I kind of saw those two organizations not necessarily as competing organizations, but two organizations kind of doing the same thing. But as you explained it to me, you actually have some slightly different aspects to your mission. Can you tell us a little bit how you two different, you and the LEAD organization?
Yeah, so the Tourism Bureau and the LEAD organization, they're definitely intertwined, but they kind of cover different aspects. So with tourism, we're covering more out-of-town guests, getting people into town. We're assisting more of the people who are coming in for a short amount of time, whether that's a few hours, a couple days, or a few weeks. Whereas LEAD covers more of the people that are here in town, or the people that we're wanting to draw in and stay here in town, such people who are moving here, people who are wanting to open a new local business in town, and Lincoln is the spot that they're kind of looking at. Mm-hmm. That's more of Andrea's side, whereas we cover more of the people who are here for a short amount of time.
Okay, so you're more, temporary visitors, and she's
Yes.
looking more long-term or permanent types of guests.
People who are going to, put roots here in the county or within Lincoln, and then, stay here and be here for quite a while.
Right. Okay. 217-648-5510, the number to call. You mentioned to me that although you and Andrea have different roles, you and the Tourism Bureau and the LEAD organization, you actually not necessarily combined, but you work together a lot, and you're also present at a lot of the same events. So it's, if someone goes to a particular event, they might see both of you there and not just one or the other.
Yeah, we do see. Actually, she just popped into my office about an hour before I got here, so I saw her today. But yeah, we do work with each other. So, something comes across her desk that is more my area, or, vice versa. If I see something that's like, this is not quite my forte, we'll communicate with each other. And then also, any way we can help each other or work together, we're always, there, open communication.
Sure. So it's not, like I said, it's not two organizations doing the same thing, competing with one another. It's, you've got, like you said, slightly different missions and slightly different, I don't know if you call them target audiences, but different people that you're working with different things going on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So tourism, we're going to talk in the last segment about some upcoming events and some big things going on with the Tourism Bureau. Once again, if you have questions, feel free to give us a call on the studio line, 217-648-5510. Yeah, well, actually, we've got a couple minutes before the break. Why don't we start getting into that now, and then we'll hit it again after the next commercial break. Obviously, with tourism, one of the big aspects to your job then has to be, with special events and things happening. You mentioned to me in advance you've got some things you wanted to make sure we got out on the air here about up and coming events. Do you want to start digging into those a little bit?
Sure, yeah, let's go for it.
All right. What's the first, ongoing right now, I guess, is the Route 66 days?
Yep, our Route 66 days are going on right now. It includes the towns of Atlanta, Lincoln, Mount Pulaski, and Broadwell/Elkhart. There, it is a passport stop. The goal is to, visit a business. When you make a purchase, you get a stamp. Once you get enough stamps to complete the passport, you can turn it in, and you will have a chance to win some awesome prizes from the local businesses that are participating on the passport.
Oh, okay. And how long does that contest or how long does that run?
Until July 4th. So you
Okay.
have about 6 days to get that finished up, and we look forward to seeing how many, who got involved, and we hope we get a great turnout for it.
And what's sort of the goal, or what's the philosophy behind that? What made you decide to do something like that?
The idea was to get people to, spend money at local businesses, small, like I said, small locally owned businesses, and just to get them out and about within the county, as you do have to visit at least 2 of the 4 participating towns. So just to get, sometimes when you live in, one of the towns, you kind of just get stuck there. So we're encouraging people to, move around a little bit. And then not only once you make these purchases and complete the passport, you're also eligible to get an extra entry for the prizes if you visit local attractions that are really popular along Route 66 that are in the towns that are, on this passport. So we're wanting people to buy locally, shop small, but also, visit some of the attractions that they might not even realize is here because, it's just their everyday normal.
Right, kind of like we were talking about driving by the covered wagon. And,
Exactly.
sort of taking it for granted, so to speak. So our guest is Andrea Roate from Logan County Tourism Bureau. We're going to take another break, and we will be back in a couple minutes. And we are back, the 4 p.m. 411 on WLCN 96.3 FM. Our guest today is Alice Roate from Logan County Tourism Bureau. If you have questions, 217-648-5510, the number to call. We started talking before the break about some of the ongoing events or currently happening events in Logan County. We mentioned the Route 66 days, but off air we thought of a few more that we'd like to make sure people know about. Take it away in whatever you want, whatever order you want to speak to them about.
So there are Third Fridays in Lincoln. There is one more left for this summer, and that is July 15th. And then there's also Second Fridays in Mount Pulaski for the months of July and August that are still left. So those are always really fun. They have live music, food trucks are there, lots of fun things going on for the kids. So be sure to check those out. And then also a fun thing going on in Atlanta is Christmas in July. They will have a market on July 23rd and 24th. So definitely check that out. Get in the Christmas spirit 5 months early. So that is perfectly okay.
There you go. I believe the Third Fridays event in Lincoln, I think it has a luau theme this coming month,
Yes.
I heard. So.
Yep. July is a luau theme.
All right, so I don't think I'd look very good in a grass skirt, so I'll probably skip that part. And then, of course, the other big event coming up in Logan County, even though your office maybe doesn't have anything to do with it directly, but certainly brings people to the county, the Logan County Fair happening. And I believe that's July 31st is the first date.
Yep. It starts July 31st.
And, of course, everything that you find at the fair that traditionally happens there. They've got the Queen Pageant on Tuesday night. They've got the Demolition Derby, the 4-H calf and pig scrambles, some other entertainment and exhibitions and things like that. So certainly brings people to town. And as you said, it's not just about bringing people to the Logan County Fair, because once they're there, they're in the community and they're going to need to get gas to go home and they're going to need to find somewhere to eat and so forth. So, do you get many inquiries about from fairgoers around? I guess what's sort of your peak time of the year? Is it the summer months or the winter months, or is there particular events that seem to draw more people for you?
It's definitely the summer months. I can't say for sure about the fair because I know last year my second day was when we did the ribbon cutting for the fair. So I'm not sure quite about that for the lead up. But when it comes to inquiries and the amount of people we're getting in our office, number of people in our hotels, summer's definitely the biggest one. June, July, and August are all really busy, especially June and August. June with just a bunch of different events going on, and then August with the Logan County Fair, the state fair. We're only 30 minutes from Springfield, and then of course Balloons Over 66 being the last weekend.
Right, and we mentioned that's back again, and it sounds like it's growing more. There's going to be an art fair and several of the activities from previous year as well, the dock dogs and the backyard barbecue and so forth. So that will definitely bring a group to town, I'm sure. Mentioned people can get information from you about, looking for recommendations or event information. How do they go about doing that? Like, what's your website address, or is there a phone number we can put out there for people to call?
Our website address is destinationlogancountyil.com, and there is a question box you can fill out, or you can find our emails there. Or, if you look through our website, there's an events page that has all of, especially the events that happen every year, like the county fair, Balloon Fest, any of the fall festivals. Those all can be found on there with pretty extensive information. But if you can't find it, you're more than welcome to call our office, email us, or fill out that question box on the website.
Okay. So we want to talk about? We got a couple minutes. We finished a little early from the topics we sort of planned about. Let's talk about tourism. We mentioned that part of your job is promoting events and promoting things going on there. How do you go about doing that? Like, how do you get word out to not only Lincoln, but you mentioned trying to get it out to some of the other communities?
So we have Facebook and Instagram. Those are all, posts and social media that we do ourselves. But we also do digital marketing. So, that's paid, sponsored advertising that's going to pop up on your Facebook, on, any websites that you're interested in. And we also do geo-fencing with that. So it's targeting other towns around us like Springfield or Bloomington, Decatur, where people that are close enough that we can draw them in. And then as we get closer to said events, typically we always have a regular ad running that's just promoting, Logan County Tourism, come see us, ask us questions, what do you want to know? But as we get closer to those events, we'll also have ads running that are about Balloon Fest, about the county fair, about, second and third Fridays, any of that stuff that's a bit more specific.
And for those who might not know, can you tell us what geo-fencing is?
So geo-fencing is when you select a certain area that ads will be served. So say I have an ad about Abraham Lincoln and I want it served in another area where Abraham Lincoln is really popular. And, if someone were to open their phone and they were in that location, an ad would pop up. So For example, the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Museum in Springfield, say someone was there. Obviously, if they're there, they have some interest in Abraham Lincoln. They leave the museum, they open their phone, and they're served an ad about Abraham Lincoln history within Logan County, is the idea behind it.
Right. So it's those pop-up ads you get on your phone.
Yes.
You're the person to blame for that.
Yes.
But they're good ads from you. So,
So when you search, a certain product, and then a few hours later it's back on your feed again.
Right.
That's us.
Yeah. So, but as we said, it's good stuff. It's tourism.
Yes.
It's not the annoying, trying to get us to buy something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So our guest is Alice Roate. We've just got a couple minutes left here. You said you've been there about 11 months. What's sort of been the most surprising thing, or something maybe you learned over the past 11 months that maybe you weren't expecting or wasn't covered in your college classes about tourism and promoting events and things here in Logan County?
I've been surprised with, I don't know if I want to say surprised, but some of the conferences I've been able to go to have been really eye-opening, just because some of them cover the whole state of Illinois. So I've been able to meet a lot of people who have been in this field for a long time, who have a lot of experience. So while the job may seem small, since there is only, two of us in our office, then we have board members, of course, I've been surprised to learn how many people I do have actually been able to make connections with, outside of the county, who are in this industry, who have a bit more knowledge on, what's going on or anything like that. So for a job that I was expecting to be kind of small and kind of singular in a way, I've realized is a lot bigger than I realized. And, we have a huge network within the whole state of Illinois.
Right. And that's, I think, something that maybe people don't realize. You think you're Logan County Tourism Bureau, so you want to promote Logan County, and these other counties are promoting their events and things going on. But actually, like one of the organizations I used to work for, we were affiliated with the Arts Partners Group in Peoria. And one of their favorite sayings they used to say at some of their workshops was, a rising tide raises all ships. So what benefits Logan County, people coming here as they're driving here on I-55, maybe they're coming through Bloomington or coming through Springfield. There might be some other destinations or some events or sites there that they might want to stop off and see as well. So
Exactly. It's all interconnected, and it, benefits everyone.
right. So, okay. Well, that went pretty quickly. So
Yes, it
we'll have to have you back again sometime. So our guest has been Alice Roate from the Logan County Tourism Bureau. She helps promote all things Logan County events and dinner recommendations, and any questions you have, feel free to ask Alice about sites in Logan County. What's the website again?
DestinationLoganCountyIL.com.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you taking time, and we will talk to you next week, the 4 p.m. 411, when our guest will be Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. Thanks for your time this time, and we will talk to you next time. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.